welcome and thank you for attending the kind of debut, so to speak, of the Maverick platform for the first time. I'm kind of debuting, and Barry's debuting the full product. This has been a labor of love for over 2 years now. And a huge team effort. We have combined. It's been a topsy-turvy journey, combining several companies together, rewriting so much stuff, putting in millions of dollars of technology into this thing. And what I like to say is we're very proud of this MVP product, what we've released. The bar is very high for what we've built. But just wait for it to get better over the next couple of months. A lot of the elements, especially AI related, that we're adding in is just gonna, I think really blow you guys away. The reason you guys are on this webinar today is we are giving our VIP clients a first look at the platform and a first look to sign up for the platform if you guys are interested. We have quite a sizable wait list to get going and get live with the platform. And we wanted to give all of you guys an opportunity to join first before we kind of release this publicly next month. So let me start off by kind of explaining what Maverick is at a very high level. And then, I want to kind of make some introductions. So, the journey to Maverick has been that we obviously, as you know, at Ylopo, generate a ton of opportunities, whether it's new leads or existing leads that we nurture and revive. And when a client is unsuccessful on our platform, the number one reason by far is they're not getting ROI, right? And, it ranges from, the lead suck to the technology sucks, and they're just not getting the return they're looking for. And obviously, some of those times, that's true, right? And we own that. And, there are problems that we can work on to fix and all of that good stuff. But honestly, more than not, when we go into the client's database and start looking at, kind of what's going on, there's just a lot of holes from a process perspective, right? Leads that aren't called. We did an analysis, pretty thorough analysis recently at the average number of calls that a Ylopo lead is called inside our client CRM, and it is under 1.2 for the first 30 days, right? We all know from our own call center, we know it takes 4.5 touches, 4.5 calls to get a quality connect with a consumer. The average is basically 1, right? And so we just noticed a lot of process holes. And so we went to our top clients in the country and begged them to say, what's your process? How do you work these leads? How are you successful? And so on and so forth. And we would get from them, a lot of times a treatise on what needs to be done in order to get the best results. And we take that, we turn that into masterclasses, knowledge-based articles, as much information as you possibly want. And then we give it to our teams that are struggling and we say, do this and you will be successful, right? This is what the top teams are doing. And when we go back in 30 days, we look at it and very few of those teams have implemented these best practices, right? It's not, I think, the problem necessarily with execution and so on and so forth. I just think it's hard. There's a lot of data to mine. There's a lot of processes to mine. Bigger teams have operations. They have, teams built, lead managers, ISAs, directors of operations, like people whose job is to drive efficiency, right? And the average team, even the bigger teams I've seen, don't have necessarily the staff and the horsepower to do that at a consistent level to get to the best results, right? And so, the journey for Maverick was for us to say, how do we condense the learnings of our most successful clients and automate it and give it to you in a box, right? And that really is the mission of Maverick. We take a sales manager, a director of operations, and we say, well, that person's job is to drive efficiencies in your business, find the best people, train the best people, figure out what the best leads are, figure out how to route those leads, figure out what's going on in your database, and automate all of it and give it to you in a box, right? That's the philosophy behind Maverick. And, we think if you took this platform, you learned it, and you implement it in your business, what would have taken weeks of effort from many different staff members to do, we will automate down to 15 to 20 minutes a day, right? That's the promise. So we're excited to show you the platform. Good news is we've got Professor Barry, as always, frontline troop in working the platform. And he's going to demonstrate to you guys in real life how he's using Maverick, right? How is he using it to drive business? We're going to do a shortened demo today because there's so much depth to Ylopo that we're not going to be able to present it in one session. And to be honest, I think to understand the nuances of this product, you have to go through a consultative approach because, we have to understand your business and then show you where the power is, right? So, because of that, I brought on our two main account executives for Ylopo. I want to introduce you to. I'll talk to you quickly about their backgrounds and sorry, Maverick. What I'm just used to this. And what I hope is that if you are at all interested in the platform, have a consultative call with them, right? Because they're the rock star of rock stars on our team, right? So we've got Sean Pertil on here. Sean was actually the head of sales for Ylopo. We brought him over to the Maverick organization because of his expertise. He understands Ylopo like the back of his hand. He understands, after talking to thousands of clients and prospects, what are the push button factors for success. And, I think I can't think of anyone better to lead the charge on consultatively explaining and sharing Maverick than Sean. We also have Tristan on the team. What's really unique about this product is that, as I said, it's not like I sell you this thing and you use it and then, it works or it doesn't work. There's so much nuance of how to overlay this suite of technology into your existing business. Some of it changing your business, some of it just giving you visibility into the business, right? And what we found when we interviewed folks to talk about Maverick was that we needed someone in the trenches who have done this before in order to explain the product, right? And the niche that we found was people who actually were Zillow advisors for their Flex program. These were people who were the Zillow SWAT team of getting Zillow Flex clients to get the highest ROI possible, right? Because Zillow doesn't make money unless clients close deals. And for all of our teams here who are on Zillow, who are on Zillow Flex, you guys know how important the relationship you have with your advisor and how important process and efficiency and team management is in terms of getting ROI from the platform, right? Both for you and for Zillow as your partner. And so Tristan is one of their senior account executives, account advisors, Zillow advisors. And, we are bringing on more Zillow advisors because we've just found that they were such a good fit, for this role, right? So you're not, obviously we think the world of our Ylopo salespeople as well. But I will just say, just being frank, we hire the best of the best for this, right? And there's a reason for that because they're going to be working with the best teams in the country, right? So, having introed them, they will reach out to you as a courtesy call after this to talk to you about the product. They'll reach out, set up meetings, all that kind of stuff. All right, let's dive into it. So, Barry, do you want to share your screen and let's start talking about the features of Maverick that we're most excited about?
Yes. And before I share my screen, I would tell you guys the thing that I'm most excited about is there's been just and I was looking at the names. And so on this call, generally speaking, there's a disconnect between Follow Up Boss and wherever you process your money, right? Your commissions. So for me, that's Brokerment. And so there's the Brokerment, which is my source of truth with revenue. And then there's Follow Up Boss, which is my source of truth for lead follow-up and lead metrics. And I can't tell you how amazing it is to have the money and the CRM laid over inside of Maverick. And so, the first thing I'm going to show you guys is, is like lead source reporting. So the way that this works in my system is that these are actually commission plans inside of Brokerment. This is what the lead source is. And I mapped this commission plan and brokerment to specific lead sources in Follow Up Boss. And Maverick does all that. It's got this widget where you're mapping your commission plans. And if you don't use brokerment, that's okay. There's other revenue platforms that, Maverick integrates with, but I'm just sharing my experience. And so this is the month of July. And now this is not brokerment for me. This is Follow Up Boss. It's telling me how many buyer leads, how many seller leads in that month, how many calls we made, how many texts we made, how many emails. And then it tells me how many deals I've written. So we've written one. And we have a 2% closing rate for the month of July. So this is like really actionable data. And the fact that I don't have to tweak it or massage it to make it happen. It's just there because they're looking at all my lead sources and Follow Up Boss. They're looking at all my commission plans and brokerment. And this is where the two cross over. And I'm able to see, all right, I've got this conversion rate. So that's my revenue. I've got, and then a summary for the month of July for all the leads that fit in this lead source, right? And so, I've got the top of funnel metrics. So for me, active buyer and seller, that's where we're showing them homes. And then short nurture is, like hot and warm for us. And so I'm able to see, month over month, what we're doing, what we're closing. And also I'm able to see historical trends for this specific commission plan. And so this is fascinating for me because when I go to the rest of the ownership at my brokerage and I say, hey guys, I want to increase, my spend on Ylopo as an example, I'm able to not just say, I think we could do better. I can actually go to metrics and look at month over month and chart out where we're spending our money. Big problem for me right now is appointments. I've got ISAs, I've got, in-house ISAs, I've got Ylopo Live. I'm doing a lot to generate opportunities for my agents. And so trying to help them actually take appointments and bring them over to closings, right? And so this is just the last, looks like this metric is the summer. And here I've got all appointments, held appointments, not held appointments, no outcome, right? And what I'm able to do here is I'm able to look at all of the appointments that we held over the summer for team leads. So this isn't Sphere or anything like that. And I'm able to look at the trends to see where the appointments are coming from, what types of appointments my team is setting, who's actually creating them. And then from a management standpoint, I'm able to drill it down even further, right? I'm able to come here and I'm able to look at over the last couple months with team deals, how are we doing with appointments, right? And so this metric is really important for me, appointments held, and looking at, what is the percentage that they're holding and how many are they actually meeting with? Because, I'm doing a lot of work, as you guys are, to try to get these appointments held. And so, what I'm able to do is I'm able to click on, for example, Patricia Martin has 10 appointments held. So when I click on this, I'm able to load like a list of leads here and actually able to see what they're doing, right? Who the leads are, where they're at in the process, and to be able to really granularly manage appointments and look at, where the revenue is coming from and what the agents are doing. And I know that, I'm not going deep on any of this, G. So if you want me to, answer any questions or anything on any of this, I'll tell you the thing that I'm most excited about is the lead nudging. I think we all as team leaders have that compulsion where we log in a Follow Up Boss and we're like, did my agents do their lead follow-up? Did they do what they're supposed to do? Did they, did they call that lead back, for example? That shouldn't be a problem. Leads are calling us. We should be calling them back. And so you can drill these rules. So I've got a whole bunch of them here. And you can see for Ylopo leads, leads in actively showing home stage with no short-term nurture. This is a problem, right? 83% are past due. And we've got a metric around that. Short-term and long-term nurture. Basically, the summary here is my agents have a problem nurturing their leads. Surprise, surprise. And this one always bugged me. leads with recent missed calls and no callback. We've gotten a lot better because I harped on them. This used to hover around 60% every day. So 60% of the leads that would call us back, my agents wouldn't respond to. But because of Maverick, I've been able to look at my my short term and my long term. And so I've been able to find trends, and we've been managing to this. Believe it or not, these metrics are a little bit better week over week, because I've been on my morning huddle on Mondays and Fridays. I'm like, guys, you have to stay in touch with the humans that you found. These are your nurture leads, and you guys are letting it go. So the way that we manage this now is we've got 2 out of 268 rules pending, 53 out of 268 rules complete. But I've got 213 Ylopo leads with no that are short-term nurture stage with no short-term outreach. Now, to be fair to my agents, I've got this set at, I think, like 7 days or something like that. I don't remember the exact metric. And so what I've been coaching my agents to do is, look, if they're not short-term nurture, change it to warm, right? Change it to cold. You don't get any extra bonus points for leaving it as a hot lead if it's not a hot lead. But that being said, all I have to do is click nudge assignee. And in one swoop, I've got the ability to nudge all these leads, right? And the benefit for me is, from a management perspective, I'm able to just in one, just quickly just click it, click confirm, and this is going to nudge 4 agents about their respective leads for 10 leads. I click it, ready to nudge. Now, what that does is it actually adds a tag in Follow-Up Boss. And so we have a smart list in our Follow-Up Boss that is for missed opportunities. That's the name of the list. And any leads that have that tag that Maverick is adding, right? And I forgot the name of the tag off the top of my head. You guys might know, but it adds it to a smart list. So from a management standpoint, it's not just to me about at the macro level, hey, agents, do your lead nurture. Now it's me at the macro level saying, hey, agents, do your lead nurture. And I'm clicking a button, or my staff is, that puts the leads that they've missed their lead nurture on in a smart list, so that my agents, that's number 3 in my agents workflow every day, is all of their missed opportunities. And Maverick is sending my agents an email with the list of leads that they broke the rule on, so that they're getting an email saying, hey, these are the 4 people that you said are hot that you haven't followed up with recently. So what I've found over the last, I would say, 90 days of using this has decreased the need for as many one-on-one meetings with my agents. Because what we used to do is we would sit down with our agents and we would go through their database and we would recategorize all their stages. We would say, oh, you've got 30 people that you said were hot. Is John still hot? Is Mary still hot? Is William still hot? Now what I'm able to do is I'm actually able, in real time, programmatically bring those meetings to my agents. The impact of it has been that we're actually closing more nurture leads. And while the numbers are still high, 70%, 50% needing more outreach, it's actually better than it was 60 days ago, which for me is the whole idea. The whole idea of this is to be able to have lead operations, agent management, lead management in a box, one click, and handle it. So those are my personal favorite. I can keep going. I don't know, G, if you want me to go over some more, but from my perspective, at a high level, these are the reporting metrics that are the most exciting for me.
Yeah. And, I definitely want you to go deeper into, the actual pipeline reporting and lead source reporting and all that kind of stuff, Barry. But let me just say, there's 2 parts of this platform, right? There is insight, which is what's going on with your business, with your lead sources, with your team, ISAs, etc. And there's action, right? Which is, what are you going to do with all that insight, right? So,
Right.
Barry just showed you part 1 of that action, which is in managing your database by the rules and convictions you have for how your agents should be behaving, right? And if they're not behaving in that way, you have a stick, which is you're going to reassign the lead, right? Eventually, we're going to add in here the ability to use Raya to text these leads, and other more novel ways to work these leads in parallel with your agents, which we'll talk about next month, that we're really excited about. But that's part 1. Part 2, and we'll get to the insights in a second, is once you know the insights, and in particular, the insight that we found moves the needle the most is who are your best agents to work your best lead sources, right? And once you know that information, the obvious next step is to say, well, how do I get more leads to my best agents, right? And so the second component of the actions part of this platform is lead routing, right? And with our lead router, we allow you to do is on a per agent basis configure things like what's your area, are the areas they're able to work, what's the price points they're able to work, what are their specializations, how many leads are they eligible to receive on a monthly basis, so on and so forth. And when they receive a lead, when you receive a lead, what's going to happen is, first off, like right now today, this is working for ISA teams. Very soon, it's going to work for even teams that don't do ISA, where we use FUB data. But if your ISA gets a lead, they vet the lead and they figure out what's their price point, what's their area, so what's their time frame, so on and so forth. What they're able to do with this technology is when they press submit on that lead, we stack rank all of your agents that are eligible to receive that lead, right? Let's say it's a Zillow lead, over 400,000, buyer, seller, within 6 months, right? Well, out of Barry's 8 agents, there might only be 3 agents that are qualified to take that lead because it's such a high level lead, right? What we're going to do is we're going to say, based on their availability, based on their activity in the CRM, and based on their conversion rate, who is the best? How do you rank those 3? 1, 2, 3, right? And then we're going to contact each one very quickly, 10 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever it is, 1, 2, 3, to give them an opportunity to accept the lead, right? If the first agent is available, great, he gets the lead. If he doesn't, passes to the second, then to the third, right? And what we allow you to do is for every lead that comes into your system, based on the insight from Maverick, we are distributing it to the person most qualified and ready to take that lead, right? And obviously this is really important for any lead source, but when it comes to portal leads in particular, they're the most important, right? Because these are the most competitive leads. Your conversion rate matters the most. The difference between 1% of conversion and versus not having that percentage conversion is essentially all of the profit in the business, right? And so we have actually seen Zillow teams, because this was built with a lot of the largest teams in the country, go from like 7% conversion rate to 11%, 12% conversion rate as a result of getting the best leads to the best agents, right? So again, taking insight and then delivering it to action from a new leads perspective, right? And so there's going to be a lot of other actions built within Maverick over time. But our philosophy behind the 2 that we've released today is we want to give you a tool to maximize your new lead opportunities, which is Lead Router, and we want to give you an opportunity to maximize your database, which is Lead Alerts and nudging, right? So that's the philosophy behind it. All right, Barry. Now that we've shown the action part, because I think this is the sexy part that actually shows them how they're going to make more money, love for you to show them the inside part of how we actually figure out what are the lead sources, what are the agents we should be distributing leads to.
Yeah, absolutely. So I did show a little bit of the pipeline reporting a moment ago, but let me pull it back up now, and then we can dive deep into it. All right, so share my screen. There you are. All right. All right. So, no, I don't want to leave the webinar. All right. So as I showed you guys, this is kind of like my pipeline report. And this is also showing me the agents in the month of July that closed the most deals for Ylopo, right? So these are the ones where I'm actually able to start to see, where the revenue's coming from, and I'm able to see the historical trends. Is this what you were saying, G? The lead source
That's right.
tracking? Yeah. So
100%. Yep.
yeah. So because, and I did kind of go over it kind of quickly. So, as you guys are looking at this, I have found that it's hard to get a good handle on how my lead sources are doing. And I don't, and so what we normally do is we're just like, oh, we're closing deals, right? And don't get me wrong, I want to close deals as much as the next guy. However, what I found is that looking at my pipeline is the best way to track where the future is. Because now I'm able to take a period of a month and say, all right, I know I spent X amount of dollars to generate 133 leads for this particular lead source. How did we do? So let me zoom in real quick. To be able to do this in just your CRM or your transaction management platform, it's really hard to do. And what Maverick did when they were onboarding me, they were like, all right, tell us about this stage, right? Like, what is hot stage? What is warm stage? Would you consider that to be a long-term lead, or would you consider it to be a short-term lead? And now what I'm able to do, so for us, this is my favorite one. This means we got a lead this month and we're already showing them homes. That's the active buyer and seller. This is the next one. This is the one where my agents are saying, I think we're going to close a deal on this one in the next 90 days. To be candid with you guys, this is the number I watch most frequently. I can't control the readiness of the consumer. And I tell my agents this, you can't control whether or not the lead's going to say, yes, I'm so glad you called. I want to see a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home tomorrow, right? We're stoked when that happens, but we can't scale our business off of that. What I can scale my business off of are these 15 humans that we found. I spent, I think it was like $5,000. That's not right, because that's including remarketing. But anyway, let's just say I spent $2,000 and I've got 100 and some odd leads. 15 people are now in a position where something really good happened, right? Some kind of outcome that I'm able to do. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my appointments and I'm going to look for all of, because I can do this in my appointment reporting, I can pick both agent. So if I'm meeting with an agent one-on-one, I can say, let's examine the appointments you had this summer, for example. So let's just pick one agent and just run a quick report. And I'm able to look at his appointments. Or in this case, you guys saw me looking at the lead source report. I found 15 in the month of July that we said are short-term nurtures. I'm able to now come into lead source, and I have a couple of Ylopo sources. See, I've got it split up between Ylopo from Google, Ylopo from Facebook. So, I've got to do a little bit more clicking around, but let's just look at for Google PPC. And I'm able to see how many appointments we created for that specific lead source. And I'm not surprised, because we actually moved a lot of our budget over to Facebook. So I probably should switch that over. But anyway, and now I'm able to see, these are agents that, these are appointments that they held, right? And I'm able to click on these different these agents. And so I'm able to click on Magala Maldana, and it's going to log me into Follow-Up Boss. And I don't know if this is saved. My password's saved on this machine. So, but anyway, it loads the lead. So I'm able to actually see what the outcome is. So now it's not just a high level management, but you guys can see, like I just did this when I was on the call with you. So this is a short-term nurture, right? And this rule needs action taken. Leads with recent tasks that are newly overdue. So she's got a task that's overdue, and I'm reminding her, right? I'm reminding her that she needs to touch this lead. But this is that same lead that was in the report, appointments report. So all I did was click on it, and I was able to load that. So what you're seeing now is the benefit of having the money, the revenue attached to Maverick, and the CRM, because the CRM used to be my main source of truth, and then there was a disconnect in my business. But by combining the two, I'm able to make business decisions, which candidly, I'm kind of embarrassed to say, normally was kind of shoot from the hip. Like, well, I saw, XYZ agents kind of excited about these types of leads. Let's see if it lasts another month. But I was making business decisions off of like anecdotal comments from my agents instead of strong reporting data, which is really the name of the game. I can't run my business. I know for a fact my pipeline over the next 3 to 4 months is really, really strong. We've closed this year. I didn't show that. So let's go back to the main business reporting screen. So when you go to business overview, we've closed 428 transactions. 142 in volume with an average sales price of 322,000. And so for us, you know, we're on track to do the same number, maybe a little bit less than last year. And we're really excited about that because there's a lot of businesses that haven't been able to maintain that level of consistency that we're able to. And I really believe it's because we're squeezing the every last drop out of every grape, so to speak. So,
yep, Barry, I always liken it to teams that don't track their conversion rates or don't have a really good sense of how their conversion rates evolve over time and are not able to make good decisions with data. It's like being a baseball coach who doesn't track his hitters' batting averages.
right,
So you're just eyeing it all the time, you know? It's
exactly.
Like, that's good. He seems to hit the ball over the fence pretty frequently, but in actuality, he's batting like 150.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we do that as team owners, and we go in these Facebook groups and we're looking for feedback and we're trying to see, you know, who's doing what, or but to be able to actually control it and then not have to ask an admin, hey, can you please contact these 4 agents and have them actually try to contact their leads? You guys saw, and I didn't actually plan that, it just worked out. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, but I nudged a lead on this call, and then I'm able to drill down and say, hey, here's a good one. Let's click it. Boom. And sure enough, one of the leads that I nudged that was a short-term nurture is an 8-month-old Ylopo lead that my agent is actively showing homes that she needs to get onto. Now, and what's funny about that is I've never would have done that with that particular agent. I know she went out of town 3 days ago. She's out of town right now, so she's getting a nudge from me. But that helps me, right? Because I'm not filtering like, oh, I don't want to bother my agents. No, just click the freaking button. Like that's what I'm doing. And while all the reporting is valuable, I will tell you guys that the lead nudge rules, those 8 rules or so, those are actually giving me ROI on the platform right out of the gate. So I think a lot of times when we look at sales reporting, it's you know, a little bit figurative, you know, yeah, it kind of helps a little bit here and there. The lead nudging adds a component to where I don't need a full-time lead manager anymore. I just need an admin that does it because it takes her about 5 minutes. So just that alone is saving me a lot of money.
Those not just they become opportunities for you to kind of like not only make sure the lead's being followed up with correctly, but also like micro audit the condition of the lead in a way, right? So you can say, you might find out like, hey, this lead actually is being worked properly, but it's actually in the wrong stage. So let's move it over into a different stage kind of thing. So now when you go back to your reporting and you look at your reporting, you can actually trust it because you're constantly refining it by fixing it in a way, right?
Exactly. And this is where when I nudge the leads, they're going into this missed opportunity list. So I'm actually able to say, hey, these are opportunities that are being missed by these agents. And I played with, because a tag is being added, I played with adding a task associated with it. But what I found is having it in our 3rd smart list, like these are all of your leads that we nudged in one place. Granted, they are getting that email, which at first when the platform launched, that email wasn't going out. So I found that now that the email is going out, they're responding to that really quickly. But having it in a smart list is just allowing my agents to just very quickly not miss any opportunities. And the agents that are on this call that are listening, you guys, you get it. It is hard to get your agents to not stop calling their hot and warm leads because they get in their heads. They're like, oh, I just talked to John William 3 weeks ago and yada, yada, yada. I don't want to bother him. Right. And so what I've been telling my agents to do is I've given them 5 content ideas. And I tell them when I nudge you on your active long-term or short-term leads, when I click that nudge button, here's 5 content ideas that you can have that you can send to these leads, right? So this week I reminded them to use the market report. Just send them all a market report. Call them and say, I just sent you a market report. Did you get it? And this is actually just last week. We nudged a warm lead. The agent called the warm lead. The warm lead's plans changed. Surprise, surprise. Their retirement got moved up and they've got to list their home for sale. Right. So, but the impetus of the follow-up was Maverick nudging the leads. So again, the sales reporting is super exciting. I'm really grateful for it, but I'm making really great money off of lead nudges.
Awesome, awesome. All right, guys, we wanted to keep this webinar real tight, just a couple more minutes, because all your time is so valuable. So I want to kind of take over and show you guys one more thing. So, hey, there's a lot more depth here, right? There needs to be a consultative call. If you're interested, Sean and Tristan will reach out to you and talk to you about the platform. But we understand, we know money's tight, it's true for everyone. And two, we know, that you may not need this today at the level that you need it. And, we're playing the long game here, right? We believe this is a tool that, whether it's this month, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 2 years from now, will be incredibly valuable for you. And so we created essentially a free version of the Maverick platform that we are giving to all clients. This is a report that you will log into on a monthly basis. And in the future, we're going to have even weekly insights that takes a lot of the best hits of the Maverick platform and gives you insight into where your inefficiencies are, within your platform. And better yet, gives you a comparative sense of where you lie against the top teams in the country, and also in the future, the average team in the country. Don't worry, we're going to set this up for every one of you automatically on the back end. You're going to start receiving this in the next week or two. And if you have any questions on the report, please reach out to us and we will explain it to you, and we will, kind of help you through understanding where you can improve here, right? So I wanted to show you this report really quickly. At the highest level, when you receive this report, we're going to tell you an overview of your growth opportunities, right? And by the way, guys, this is a report that's meant to be on desktop. We will send it to you. We want, you to kind of go through it, in concentrated fashion. So it does not work on mobile right now. This is a desktop experience. We're going to high level tell you where are the missed opportunities, right? Percentage of leads contacted in the last 24 hours. Your team is contacting 21% of top funnel leads within 24 hours. It's not good, right? That number needs to be much higher. We know speed of lead is important. And so we highlighted that in red, right? Your best lead sources this month are Ylopo, call action, great to know. Your appointment set, there are 500 leads created in the last 30 days. Your team set appointments on 12% of them. If it's red, it means that you are not doing as well as the top teams in the country, right? If you're green, it means that you're doing really well, right? And so we're actually telling you, hey, you have a lot of nurture leads that you need to contact. The best time for you to call your leads is Monday at 4 p.m. We're even assessing time factors for you. The agents that created the most appointments with fewest number of conversations is Marissa. We're giving you all of this action-packed data to see at a glance what's going on, right? And then if you want a deeper look, we go section by section and break down, about 6 to 7 areas that we found has the most impact on productivity and lead efficiency, for your team, right? So example, how many conversations does it take to get an appointment, right? So it's not just about how many appointments you get, it's how efficient your team is about getting those appointments, because they only have so many hours in the day and they only have so much effort level to give. And so if they're inefficient, that's something you need to know, right? Here we see for this month, your team averaged 1.8 conversations to get an appointment. That's 0.5 more than the average top team, right? It took your team 19 phone call attempts to get one conversation. Your average attempt made was 4.6. Pretty important information, right? It takes 19 phone call attempts to get in a conversation. Your team is making 1.6, right? So Here are the people who are successful. Here are the people who are weak. We go through how many outbound texts are you sending per month? How many responses are you getting? Is this higher or lower? I won't go through all of these, but you can see here a very in-depth report that tracks insights that you can't get in Follow Up Boss. You can't get in another platform. We get a lot of questions, about, for instance, like, I already have Follow Up Boss. They have reporting. Why do I need this? Well, do they have this level of reporting, with insight from the top teams in the country on what actually matters? A lot of clients say, well, I already have Sisu, why would I buy this when I have Sisu? Does Sisu inspect your pipeline that is going to get you the ROI you're looking for versus what you've already historically done in the past? I don't think so, right? And this report is an example of the type of inspection we're doing in the weeds about, what is going to have positive outcomes, right? And, using this report at a high level, at least, you can use it as guidance to at least know, what are the areas of improvement that you can have, right? And just so you guys know, what we're going to do with this report, it's going to get better every single month. We have a dedicated team that's going to be working on this report. We're going to even send you weekly alerts that say, hey, your agent X, had a effort level of this over the last 30 days, and this week their effort level decreased by 30%. You should go check them out, right? So we're going to start sending you kind of weekly updates as well, with the goal of giving you a free tool to help understand your lead efficiency. Obviously, Maverick goes a lot deeper. Obviously, Maverick answers a lot of the questions that are posed by this report, but at least directionally, what's happening, right? That's the goal of this report. And as an amplifier to this, for all of you guys, especially VIPs, that I think are doing very good on lead follow-up, we are coming out with a leaderboard in September, October, that is going to rank the top teams by how productive they are, how well they work their leads and their database. We're going to come up with a leaderboard for those top teams, right? So if you're excelling in these areas, you could be a top 25 list for small team, medium team, large team, mega team, right? And when we have that leaderboard, it gives you something to aspire to, first off, but also we're going to start getting insights from those top teams about their lead efficiency and how they accomplish it. And hey, hint, a lot of those teams are on Maverick for a reason, right? Barry, anything else to add about the freemium report before we wrap this up?
Yeah, so you guys heard how I made a tweak when I was going through my Maverick reporting with regards to appointments and training my agents. One, the agents that were missing appointments, I was a training opportunity. Lead nurture in hot and warm stage was a problem as a result of Maverick. Another tweak that we made was a result of the freemium report. The fact that Monday, it hovers month over month between Monday at 4 p.m. and Monday at 7 p.m. Somewhere in the evening on Mondays, my team consistently gets more conversations to appointments than at any other day or time of the week. So now what we've been doing is we've been telling our agents, you guys need to prioritize Monday evenings. Don't know why, don't care. The data is the data, right? And so some of you, message me and you say, hey, do you have any ideas on running your business? I would tell you that, 1 degree difference at first doesn't look very different, but over the course of 100 miles, it's a huge difference. And that's what this type of reporting does. And so if you guys are able to get on a call with Sean or Tristan, the thing I would tell you is having someone that knows the product and can apply the product to your business, right? Your specific agent count, your lead sources, the direction that you want to go in your business, they're able to kind of fine tune the way the platform works to maximize what you're doing. So whether you're like on the fence or serious about it, you definitely owe yourself to jump on a call with one of them just to see where the opportunities are, because these things have created revenue for my team and they can do the same for you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Really appreciate this time. Know all of you guys are super busy. I like to say, and my team was like, "Don't say this," but I love saying it. We are grinding hard on this product every single day, and this is what we're showing you is the worst possible version of Maverick it'll ever be. It's only going to get better every single day, every single week. I know. I had to say it. It's my line. It's my shtick. What can I say?
And it's amazing as is.
It's incredible as is.
Amazing as is. Yeah. And if it doesn't work for you today, I guarantee you, at some point it will, and we're going to kind of keep you in touch with the platform through the freemium report and through everything else we're doing. And we love for you to keep taking a look at this technology.
Well, that's because of the feedback loop, right? That's why you're saying that. There's a feedback loop between the
100%.
user and the development team, so they continue to refine the reporting to make it relevant.
100%. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate your time. Talk soon.
Everybody.
All right, bye.